Hey there, I'm Nate from Access Humboldt, and in this video I'm going to be editing and adding music to the end and the beginning of a short podcast. So let's get started. So the podcast was titled Slay Queens. So I'm going to open up this in Audacity. I'm going to take a look at it. It looks like it could use some definite editing. We got low parts and high parts, and just doesn't look very uniform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, don't need to save, and I'm going to use Adobe Enhance to enhance this. I'm going to just drop this right there, and it is going to make the audio a lot better, a lot more uniform, so that it doesn't have all those ups and downs. All right, so this will take a little while. So we're going to speed up the video. This is a free program through the internet, through Adobe. Adobe Podcast Enhance. All you have to do is give them your email address, and then you can, for free, do these audio enhancements. And trust me, it makes a ton of difference. All right, so let's download that. Let's go find it in the downloads. Slay Queens Enhanced WAV file. I'm going to pull that over here. Now I'm going to open this one in Audacity. Yeah. Okay, you can see that it's a lot better looking. Here, let me pull up the old one, or the non-enhanced version. So you can see that this is the non-enhanced version. This is the enhanced version. It looks a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna use this one. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for volume level, just to make sure it's at the level we want. We want it to be touching red right here. It looks about right. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of these gaps here. This will help the flow. And I'm going to speed up the video as I'm doing this. This is going to take a while. But yeah, this will help the flow. And this is kind of, on this particular podcast, this was kind of my fault, as I did not have the hosts do a mic check. So we had to share mics, and that's why there's a lot of this gap here. All right, I'm going to speed it up. Oh yeah, and I like to raise the volume of the clapping at the end, because that looks kind of small. So I'm going to highlight where I want to raise the volume, come up to Effect, go to Amplify, and I'm going to amplify it. Let's see, that would be 0. I'm going to amplify it about 6. Maybe let's do that again. No, 7 this time. Okay, that looks good. All right. So now I need to find some music to add to this. So I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to type in Infraction. This website, Infraction, is no copyright music. I like this website because it gives a little bit of description of what it is in the title. So, you know, vlog, Latin, event, beat. Let's see. Western, letting go, inspirational acoustic, wedding. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Let's see. So you just go through here and pick what you think will work for your podcast. Again, this is all copyright free. Let's see if I can't find something a little Latin, as this is a Latin hosted podcast. I thought I saw one here earlier. Let's search Latin. There we go, that one, the reggaeton. I like that one. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Okay, so this is our song. So I need to turn this into an MP3. So I'm going to open up a program called 4K Video Downloader. Again, this is another free and safe program that you can use to turn audio or turn anything into audio or video. See, we have the option here. So I'm going to make sure that it's on audio because I'm converting audio. I want it to convert to MP3. So I'm just going to come in here, copy the link, paste the link, and as you see, it is going to be converting the YouTube video into MP3. So we'll sit and wait for that to happen. Meanwhile, let's see. Yeah, infraction. All right, so we're going to speed up the video while this downloads. All right, it is downloaded. So to get it, I go over here to the three dots, show in folder, grab this, slide it over to the desktop. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. All right, so I have all of our tracks here. So I'm going to open this up with Audacity. It is in stereo. I'm going to highlight everything, go to tracks and mix down to mono. Then this part looks a little high, so I'm going to even this out by lowering the volume. Highlight what do I want to affect. Go to amplify, bring down the volume to about, let's go about 8. That looks uniform. Let's do it over again on this side. And this is going to be a bed music, so that's why we don't need it very loud. Okay. So I have my music track and I have my vocal track. I'm going to open a new Audacity track and I call this the building track. And so we're going to build the program, the final product, the podcast here in this window. So I'm going to take my theme song. I'll take about a minute of it. I'm going to highlight this portion. I'm going to copy. I'm going to come over to my building window and I'm going to paste. Let's see, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the track. All right, so now there's my intro music to the podcast. So I need to add a track so that I can add the vocal track to it. So I'm going to add a new mono track. And let's see, we want them talking to begin about 5 seconds in. So I'm going to come back, find my 5-second marker, go right there. Then I'm going to come and grab the vocal track, copy that, paste it right there. All right, so there is our vocal track. So I don't need that much music. Get rid of most of it. This is like the bed underneath the intro to the show. Now it's time for the envelope tool. This is the envelope tool right here. This is going to allow us to fade the music down. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to see these two triangles. I'm going to take those two triangles and place a dot on that purple line right there. That tells me, or the program, where I want it to start fading. Then I'm going to come over here and grab, push up, hit the button, hold the button and pull down. And as you see, it's lowering the volume. And we have a nice fade right there. All right, let's get my cursor back. All right, so as you can see, the music here ends abruptly. So we want it to fade out. So I'm going to highlight what I want to affect, come up to effect, go into fade out. I'm going to do that once more to get a nice clean fade out. And I'm going to listen to it, make sure it does a nice fade out. All right. So we now have the intro music and it fades out, and it starts with the vocals. So let's go to the end and do the same to the end. Let's see, the end probably starts, well, let's get rid of that gap. That's a big gap. And probably starts right about here. So that's where I want my outro music to start, because I want it to be a bed music as for the outro of the show as you're saying goodbye and everything. And then I want a little bit of extra music for the outro of the show. So I'm going to take the end minute of our copyright-free music, going to copy it, going back to my building window, and that's where I want to paste it. My outro music. Let's see this. We have some at the end. Okay. So now we need to do the envelope tool, but we need to do it in reverse. So again, I'm going to grab the envelope tool. Going to put a dot where I want the music to start fading up. So right there. Let's move it over a bit. Okay, so that's where it's going to come back up. So right here, I'm going to hit the button and grab and pull down. And as you can see, we have a nice fade. Looks about right. Grab my cursor again. Again, it starts abruptly and we want it to fade in. So we're going to highlight what we want to affect. Go up to effects, go to fade in. See that nice little fade in? Let's do it again just so we have a nice smooth fade in. Let's give a listen.
Muy querida Isabela.
All right. Bed music under the talking.
Florecitas goteras. Y únete al ejército de Slade, please. Somos más los buenos.
All right. And you see the music will just go and fade out. And that's it. We're done. Almost. So let's fade out so we can see the whole track. Or the whole show, that is. So now we have our show. We have our intro music. We have our vocal track. We have our outro music. So now I'm going to save this as an Audacity project. This is telling me it's going to save as an Audacity project. If I want it to be an MP3, I'm going to have to export, which is the next step. So let's see. This is Slay Queens podcast Audacity file. Basically, it's a working file. So if I need to, I want to save it okay, we'll save to documents. This is an Audacity file. So if I need to come back and edit this program, change the music, add more music, add sound effects or whatever, I can do that here in this Audacity project. They'll save it like this. However, we want to export it as an MP3. So what we need to do is highlight everything, and we need to go up to tracks, and we want to mix and render. It's going to put it all into one track, as you'll see. All right, there's our track. Let's do a volume check.
So nice. We're so proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, it looks like it could be raised a little bit. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing, go up to effects, go to amplify, and yeah, 2.5, that's about right.
So,
and as you see up here, we're touching red. That's exactly where we want to be. Okay, so now we need to export this, our finished product. So we're going to export as an MP3. We already got the name on there. It is not an Audacity project, so let's cut that out. It's going to save to desktop. It's going to save as MP3. Let's do that. This is the metadata. You don't really need that. I mean, it's just for the extra information if you feel is need be. All right, that is it. We've closed that. We don't need to save that. Don't need to save our vocals because that is on our track. And here is our Slave Queens podcast. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.